What's going on, housemates? Marcelo here, and I am recording this video on the morning of Christmas Eve. So I hope that whether you celebrate Christmas or Hanukkah or any of the other holidays being celebrated at this time of year, that you are having a great time with family, friends, or loved ones. Or if you're working, I hope that work isn't too crazy and you're able to find some space as well to relax. And that you're getting ready for the new year. I don't know if you do anything special for New Year's. Typically, I generally do like to write down, achievements of the year and goals for next year. I'm not like a New Year, New Me person, but, I think it's still good to reflect in one way or another. But anyways, yes, I hope you're all having a great end to the year. Arsenal is having, I'd say, a pretty mixed end to the year 2024. We are, of course, a few days on from a big 5-1 win against Crystal Palace. Apparently, I didn't notice this, but I saw someone point out that Crystal Palace hadn't conceded more than 2 goals in a league game this season. They scored 5. So that in itself says something about our ability, right? But I'm really making this video today just to speak a little more at length about the severity of Bukayo Saka's hamstring injury and also the severity of what his absence will feel like. It's come out that Saka is expected to be out for 8 to 10 weeks. So we might, and it could even be until March that we see him again. And it's no secret, man, right? We can't pretend that this isn't devastating. There's no way around it. He is everything great that we do in this Arsenal team more or less stems from him and then largely starts with him. Obviously, we scored a few goals against Crystal Palace without him, and that's great. But again, that doesn't change the fact that we're going to be hugely, lacking in creativity without him. And it is concerning, obviously, but we don't have any time to really dwell on it. And 61% of our housemates voted over 24 hours or so that Gabriel Martinelli is the best fit to replace Saka while he's injured. Martinelli hasn't played too much on the right wing, but when he has, he's looked solid and he's looked promising. When you think about when he's playing on the left, right, he's often just has to cut back inside onto his strong right foot and play a ball back to whoever's at left back or center mid, center back, whatever. Or if he goes to the byline, he doesn't consistently put in the best ball. And he has a good left foot. He has a decent left foot. But when you think compared to maybe a couple years ago, what Martinelli would do on that byline, I'm thinking even specifically about the Liverpool game, I think. When Liverpool's in yellow, I think we lost that game, but there have been a few times where Martinelli will show some real skill in managing to stay on the byline as well. And he's done that a little bit more recently as well, but still, it doesn't feel like it's the same as it used to be. And so with Martinelli on the right hand, on the right wing, I do think we will see just that comfort of going down the line much more often and being able to play in a dangerous cross. Last game of the season, last season against Everton, Martinelli played on the right and he looked very solid. And, it was Everton and end of the season, but still. Now, obviously, there's the concern that, now a defender can just force him onto his left foot, force him inside, after which he will have a harder time being influential, being impactful. But I still think that it just makes the most sense out of what we have available in terms of options, right? Gabriel Jesus now has 5 goals in his last 2 games, albeit against the same opponent. But it's hard to justify sticking him out wide when he's in this kind of form. However, there's still Kai Havertz. Arteta managed to fit both of them into the starting 11 against Crystal Palace, and we could see more of that moving forward, but I don't know if I necessarily want to see that. I think it'll depend in part on who the opponent is, of course. Like when it's more of a low block, Crystal Palace was really going for it. When we're playing against more of a low block, um, having both of those guys on the pitch might not help us so much necessarily in terms of breaking that down. But yeah, so I think that right now, you know, I would like to see Jesus on the left, Havertz up top, Martinelli in the middle. And I know I just said that we shouldn't be sticking Jesus out wide, but it could very well be the case where he does what he's done anyways in his career is, he'll start on the wing, but he'll drift inside a lot. Him and Martinelli even could have this rotating relationship, which they sort of, that's how they thrived actually when Jesus first joined the team. And Jesus specifically, like him and Martinelli had this really strong understanding. And so I would much rather see Martinelli and Jesus both starting up top than Trossard, personally. I just think that Trossard, again, is proving much more effective as a substitute. Hasn't really been at his best, although, none of us have really, or none of the guys have. But I think that makes the most sense. And it's hard to pretend that we're not going to suffer without Saka. But we've never been in this position before where we have to turn up week in, week out without him available to bail us out. So these are the kind of moments where you really see what we're made of and what characters there are in this squad that are capable of stepping it up. After Gabriel Martinelli, though, Ethan Nwaneri got the most votes, although it was only about 20% of votes from you all in terms of right wing replacement for Saka. And I think that in theory, that does make sense because Nwaneri is excellent carrying the ball. Like he's so quick with the ball at his feet, which is suitable for a winger. He is, technically capable of, he wouldn't get the same treatment automatically as Saka, obviously, where he's getting triple teamed. But Nwaneri has the technical ability to keep the ball in these really tight spaces in the way that Saka does so well. The main difference, of course, is that he doesn't have Saka's strength. Nwaneri is not necessarily a soft player, but yeah, his physicality isn't anywhere near Saka's level naturally. But even compared to Lewis Skelly, when you look at Miles Lewis Skelly, he is physically more than ready now for the Premier League. And I think you can still say that Nwaneri is approaching that with his own build. He's not quite there. I think it was in the Carabao Cup at home against Crystal Palace where he got shoved off the ball really easily. It was either that or the Everton game. But yeah, so Nwaneri's still getting there. I would like to see him experimented with the right wing. And it's kind of like what Mikel Arteta did with Fabio Vieira in certain moments before he got sent out on loan. And he tried to see how he could do on right wing, and he wasn't so effective, but I remember he maybe scored a goal and came close to scoring another one. Anyways, Martinelli's got a very small sample size there, but I think that he is the best option, and Nwaneri can definitely do a job there as well to give him some rest. We might see Trossard there as a substitute for Martinelli if needed, or Jesus is more realistic. Raheem Sterling is now injured as well. I think Sterling would be a realistic option at right wing, but I still put Martinelli, Nwaneri, even Trossard maybe over Sterling at right wing. I just don't see it working out for him, honestly. I hate to say it. I just don't. But make no mistake, this is a monumental moment in our season. Could be the make or break depending on how we respond to it, depending on who steps up and who maybe isn't able to step up, but it'll be something to keep a very close eye on because so much of what we do good comes through Saka. So we've never been in this position before, and it'll be, I'm curious to see how we do in this position. But no time to rest, really. Ipswich on Friday. I think I will probably be able to make a video before then, actually. But in case I don't, and regardless, enjoy the holiday season, everyone. If you're celebrating Christmas or Hanukkah, whatever you are celebrating, I hope you get to, rest and spend some quality time with your loved ones. So I will speak to you all soon. Until then, enjoy yourselves, and come on, you Gunners. Peace, everybody.